Hey guys, welcome back to another Ferrari Formula 1 Evolution video illustrated with 1/18 scale models. This is the Hotwheels Elite Ferrari F2007. It was driven by Felipe Massa and of course new to Ferrari, Kimi Raikkonen. As you can see, this Ferrari has a different color. At the Monaco Grand Prix, Ferrari debuted the new Rosso Corsa Red. Previously, the cars were painted with Marlboro Red. And as far as I know, all the 2007 Hot Wheels Elite cars came with the new color, and I couldn't tell you if the color is 100% accurate, but it does look quite beautiful, especially in certain lighting. My model does not have a number on it, as it was a test car driven by Michael Schumacher, and honestly I regret not getting a Kimi Raikkonen car. And the model looks pretty bare without all the decals, so first I must apply the tobacco livery. So I went to apply the decals to the model, and as you can see I have essentially 4 different sets of decals. 1, 2, 3, 4, and each one of them has its own set of problems. Now this car is the Schumacher F2007 test car, which never had the tobacco livery, meaning these Marlboro decals would be out, leaving these two. Now this one, on the engine cover decals right here, which will go right there, there's these little white lines right there, so I'd have to remove these ones because these are actually too long, and so I don't know how I'd scrape those off, but I'd have to try. All seems fine, but this one right here, which goes on top of the chassis here, one, it's very, very small, so I don't think it's proportionally accurate, and two, it doesn't have any holes to go over the antennas, so that would seem very difficult to apply, so I'm kind of thinking this one is out, leaving these ones right here. The issues on this one is, while I do like the fact that this rear wing decal is split up into, 6 sections to go over, the spacing, this portion right here that goes over the upper element might be too thick and it might not fit. So I don't know if that's going to work at all, let alone on the rear wing side, or on the back side of the rear wing. The decal here that goes on this section right here is obviously much thicker, and it does have the holes, but as you can see it's split into 2 separate sections, so I'm going to have to apply those perfectly to get them to match, otherwise it's going to look funny because this one is technically not made for this car. And also for these lines I'd have to keep these long lines and just run these, and it would be a very tight fit in there. So I don't know if it's going to work, but I think I'm going to try with these ones, even though honestly the Schumacher car never did have the italic font. It was just kind of straight up and down, so no matter what, it's going to be incorrect. Nevertheless, I think I'm going to try for that, and if it doesn't work, I'm going to bail out and go with the incorrect Marlboro decals, which would mean I would again have to remove those, but I kind of think that would actually look better anyways. So that's the plan. We'll see how we go. As you can see, I went with the barcode livery just to try to be as close to accurate to the real life car as possible, and I think it looks much better with all the decals applied. A couple of rule changes for 2007. The 2.4 liter V8 engines were now restricted to 19,000 RPM, and engine development was frozen to the end of 2008. This meant peak power dropped to around 760 horsepower. There was also an increase in testing standards on the rear wing to prevent it from flexing, as well as increase in strength to the rear crash structure. Bridgestone was the sole tire supplier for 2007, and I personally prefer a single tire manufacturer as it removes the variable of a team being beaten by the tires. Also, drivers were required to run both hard and soft tire compounds during the race. The soft tires were identified with a white stripe. Ferrari also installed their wheel covers on both front and rear wheels. It was claimed they were used for cooling purposes, but I believe they had an aerodynamic benefit to reduce drag. The front wing was nearly identical to the latest spec on the 2006 car. The barge boards, however, developed more steps and sharp edges, designed to create vortices to help manage the airflow around the side pods. The undercut of the side pods got more aggressive and introduced late on the 2006 car, where these boards attached forward on the outer side pod. The purpose is to control the weight coming off the front tires and then control the airflow around the rest of the side pod towards the rear of the car. Ferrari also revised the fins that attach to the winglets for better efficiency. The F2007 was the first Ferrari to go with a zero keel design, which allowed for cleaner airflow under the nose of the car. You can see Ferrari basically created a tunnel for the airflow to then control the air towards the side pods and under the floor. Ferrari worked a lot on the front section of the floor, adding surface area and creating vortices to help seal the floor downstream. All this work would have added a pretty significant amount of front downforce, which might be why they were able to run a relatively undeveloped front wing. Ferrari went very aggressive with the ventilation gills on top of the side pod and around the exhaust. While it's reasonable to assume this created some disrupted airflow on top of the bodywork, it surely allowed for clean airflow around the lower half of the side pods towards the diffuser, and was good for the car's overall cooling. While it is very difficult to see the fine details, Ferrari obviously optimized the rear diffuser for additional rear downforce needed to balance the car with the additional downforce at the front. One noticeable detail were these channels on the upper part of the diffuser, and this fin on top of the rain light structure. The rear wing's upper element was a larger profile. Now it's unfortunate the model doesn't show the slot gap between the elements, nor the gaps in the end plates. However, it does show these little turning vanes meant to help control the turbulent airflow off the rear tires, which reduces drag. After a nail-biting championship where Ferrari and McLaren were virtually the same speed, Kimi Raikkonen was able to win the final race and capture his first and only Drivers' Championship. Ferrari was also able to win the Constructors' Championship, and of course many will remember 2007 was the year McLaren got caught for espionage and was penalized by having their Constructors' points removed and fined $100 million. It's fortunate that Ferrari won both championships on merit rather than due to penalties enforced post-season. If you'd like to see some additional pictures, you can check out my Instagram. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, check out the links in the description. So hit that like button and subscribe for more videos, and thanks for watching.